FIBA AmeriCup as we see Santiago, Chile hosting Team USA taking on Mexico. It is the first of two Group B matchups here on the final match day, pool play here in the tournament. You see some of the American fans who have made their trip down here to South America and Chile, the heartbeat of basketball in the capital city. And there's a schedule for Group B action, local time, about 10 minutes away from tip-off between the U.S. and Mexico. A little later on, we'll see Puerto Rico take on Chile. The Group B standings shake down like this. Every spot locked in, regardless of the results here. Colombia going to be in second place. Puerto Rico can't get over them after losing to Colombia just last night. Some Mexican fans have also made the trip down here to Santiago, Chile.
That was a real sombrero. That was not a dollar store sombrero. That was a legit one. And there's some American. I imagine a lot of friends and family in the stands for these women as they compete for their country at the highest of levels.
Yeah, let's get an opportunity to introduce you to the two teams. First, Team Mexico running out of the tunnel. They started off this tournament great, Amy. They had an opportunity to play the host nation in a very hostile environment. And I thought for a very young team with an average age of 24 years old, they handled themselves great in that hostile environment and were able to walk away with a huge win. The last two games have been a little bit of a struggle, and really just getting started with the energy needed to compete has been the problem.
That's kind of, I would say, what I keep going back to when I'm thinking of this game and this matchup is when you listen into their huddle timeouts, which we get the awesome fortune to do. That's what their coaching staff has been kind of preaching and pouring into them in those first halves and those first quarter timeouts, is you guys don't look like to us that you're ready to compete. And so that's for two things. Number one, knowing that you're advancing out of your pool, you can't come with that anymore, right? Ready from the opening tip, but also number two, when you're going against Team USA, which I believe everyone always is a little extra pumped up to do, you don't have the luxury. It's not going to be close if you don't come out with your best of effort. So as much as, to your point, looks like the Mexican team has kind of slipped a little bit, they are living to play another day after this one as well, and everything now geared toward that.
Here's Team USA running out of the tunnel here. And Santiago, Chile, they know they're going to be the #1 seed in Group B, and they'll likely cross over with the 4th seed from Group A. That's still yet to be determined. Right now, if they stay the way they are, it will be the Dominican Republic in the quarterfinals for the Americans. And Carol Lawson has this young college team, really, essentially, of college all-stars, really, superstars, here in Santiago, Chile, kind of gelling and getting better with every single game.
You're right. I mean, just average age of just over 20 years old. And so right now, you first of all, just credit the team for that. Young group, all-stars, doesn't always come together as cohesively as we've seen. This USA team is averaging 24 assists a game. This is not just isolation one-on-one, I'm better than you so I can score. This team is playing connected basketball.
We'll pause now for the playing of the national anthems, first from Mexico and then from the United States.
El himno de México. Muchísimas gracias. Y a continuación, el mismo respeto, escuchamos el himno de los Estados Unidos. Muchísimas gracias. Y a continuación, el saludo protocolar y...
National anthems are played. Now the traditional exchange of gifts. And we'll have an opportunity to meet the third team on the floor here. Tonight, the officials. Fei Xiang from Canada, Larissa Salas Rodriguez from Brazil, and Franco Privropovic from Argentina. The three officials who will be in charge of keeping this game in check. There we are. Confirmation of that now on your screen.
They've done an excellent job. You keep saying that they are also a team. You mentioned that. And the team's playing and competing out there for their countries. They've had training camps. They've had practices. These officials deserve credit because they've kind of just been thrown in. And while they're all their best, also like the players from their own areas, they've had to also figure it out, teamwork on the fly. And really, it's been so smooth watching them communicate and officiate this entire weekend. So shout out to them.
Indeed. Starting five for Mexico. Ramos, Jaquez, Lara, Lagunas, Sanchez, and Ramirez. Strong backcourt for head coach Des Abeda. And this is a unit that is going to be tested and challenged early. Amy, we know that they could compete. They just have to bring the energy level.
That's going to be box number one. You get that second, you're going to get out of your pool. You play the right way, right habits, build them and start it right now.
On the other side for Team USA, Olivia Miles, Michaela Blakes, Madison Booker, Kennedy Smith, and the captain, Joyce Edwards, the starting five for Kara Lawson, who has played in this AmeriCup before, back in '07. And it's always good to have a coach that has walked the path that you're trying to walk to be able to get back, and that's what Kara Lawson's doing with this young squad.
And look no further than just go YouTube Kara Lawson player highlights. You listen when she talks. She was incredible to watch, an incredible leader, a teammate, captain, and all of that now into her coaching career has been fun. And I'd say probably such a privilege and honor for those young athletes to play for her.
Yeah. Inside of a minute, countdown to tip-off presented by TISO. So Team USA 3-0 in group play. They have locked up the #1 seed here in Group B. They know they'll be playing the 4th seed on the other side in Group A. Before we get to the floor, let's listen in to Kara Lawson.
Booker, you become the lift if lift goes down there, okay? Everybody good? Just go strong. Just go strong.
And for Mexico, 1 and 2 through group play. As Des Abeda addresses her squad, we'll get an opportunity to eavesdrop here quickly. Mexico won their first game against Chile. They looked great then.
They certainly have talent and they've got skill sets and they have experience too, Carlin, to compete. We all know, but I'll repeat it again, one of the biggest keys against Team USA is those scoring runs. You've got to stay in the fight with them at all times.
It's going to be tested here early. Puerto Rico were able to do that for a large stretch of the game they played a couple nights ago. In fact, Puerto Rico went into half just down 1, but it was the third quarter where things began to unravel for Puerto Rico. Mexico saw that. They saw that, hey, this isn't a juggernaut that we're facing. This is a very beatable team, and Team USA, they're going to make mistakes too. Let's see if they can cause some doubt for the Americans. Team USA in the home whites. They'll have the first possession. From left to right on your screen, Carly Day alongside Amy Oliver. Thanks for joining us wherever you are, however you're doing so. Joyce Edwards with the first 2, and Olivia Miles with the dish.
How quick and fundamental that screen and roll exchange was. Quick hit, dive to the rim.
Olivia Miles leading the tournament in assists, 7.5 per game.
And she'll do it in all ways, on the court, open court, half court, overhand, underhand, scoop baseball, you name it, she'll give it to you.
Edwards again on the block. 2 jerseys converge on her. That pass is going to go over the head of Smith and into the backcourt. So there's Carol Lawson, the head coach of Team USA. We mentioned off the top, played in this AmeriCup, but also won a gold medal as a player at the Olympics in 2008. Also winning a gold medal as the 3x3 head coach back in Tokyo 2 Olympics ago. Edwards on the push. Finds Smith this time right on the money.
And those stops are going to turn into runouts. And so transition defense big for Mexico here.
Here's Ramos. Tried to cross over on Smith, and another turnover here for Mexico.
Black, half full, dead ball.
Yeah.
That's the one thing, when you're gonna turn the ball over, you prefer the dead balls. Get back and get your defense set.
Mexico settling back into the zone. Miles fires it over to Smith. Smith takes the 3. It's going to be off the mark. And boxed out that time by Ramirez as she pushes. Gabriela Jaquez guarded by her mirror number, Smith. And Danielis Lara. Good up fake initially. Able to get Edwards to lip, but couldn't finish on the jumper. Miles pushing, had it slapped out of her hands. That's good transition D by Mexico. Now they have numbers. Ramos to the rim. Blew the layup. Lara cleans it up.
That was a 3-on-1 situation in transition. Great option to score.
Blakes drills the 3. Michaela Blakes coming into this one shooting 31% from deep. It has to feel good to finally see one go down. Gabriela Jaquez, watched by Olivia Miles. Ramirez over the top of Edwards, can't get that to fall. Madison Booker push the other way. Here's Blakes now trying to take it to the rim. Miles is open and wants to work 2-man game with Edwards. Instead she gives it up. Booker, this is her offense. Short on that jump shot.
That young woman with the ball, Claudia Ramos, you give her a lot of credit because she stopped the ball in transition right at the rim and forced USA into a tough jump shot.
She's up to big time this last night. And the Mexican offense was sputtering, gave them 9 quick points. All that's touched by Team USA. It's Mexican basketball, 3 minutes into this ball game, and Desabena's going to go to her bench. And that will bring in Valenzuela and Gonzalez. 7 in red, Gonzalez, and 6 in red, Valenzuela. Ramos stripped. Edwards tosses it ahead. Blakes attacking the rim. Nice move.
And the pass, and the outlet pass led her perfectly. And while Mexico, 2 players trying to sprint back. It's a player that knows how to score. She's a ridiculous scorer in college for Vanderbilt.
See her defense there. Her hustle is going to get her a foul. See if we can pick it up. Team USA's bench is in disbelief right now because they thought that it was Blake who was fouled. Instead, officials saying that she committed the foul.
Yeah, it's a tough call because it really just looked like two players making a play on the ball, and Blake's actually fell over top.
Yeah.
And you want to be rewarded, by the way, when you're hustling like that. But credit to Mexico because they met the discipline.
Hawkins at the foul line, can't get that to drop, and Olivia Miles pulls down the rebound. Here's Miles on the run. No one stops the basketball, goes all the way to the rim. Couldn't get the scoop to fall. And Ramirez now in the open floor. Valenzuela was set for her. Anissa Jeffries into the game for the first time. Crowd oohing line as she gets into her bag. Jeffries steps through and finally was fouled by Smith.
To keep that handle going for Jeffries is so big time because Kennedy Smith is one of the premier defenders you will see here at the FIBA Americas. And so with all that pressure and even some initial contact, she gets the call, but it wasn't from lack of a quick contact. A lot of work.
10 to shoot for Mexico. Ramirez calling Valenzuela over. Instead, it's going to be Jaquez who sets. Valenzuela could control that pass, lost it out of bounds, and Mexico having some trouble now to settle in offensively.
Sometimes just take the simple play. Jaquez had a nice cut to the rim, and while you're trying to make that skip pass, I don't think the lane was quite there for a clean catch. And just get back right into the basics when you're playing a tough defense.
Blakes will pull up. Can't get that to drop. And a foul's going to be called on Madison Booker as she grabbed the shoulder of Jaquez. So that's going to be the third team foul now for Team USA.
Well, it's a tough call because Jaquez came up with the ball.
Right.
That contact. And Jaquez has been rebounding the ball at a really nice clip, averaging 6 boards a game here at the FIBA Americas.
The 6 boards go along with her 15 points per game, leading her team in scoring. Blakes comes up with another steal. Miles finishes the layup. Jeffries trying to shake Smith. Valenzuela steps up for 3, can't get go. Jeffries touched it last, will go the other way.
And this is just a size advantage for Maddie Blakes up top. She's undersized, and so a lot of that one-handed stuff she has to be so careful with. She's getting smothered at that point of attack.
Edwards sets a screen for Miles, who probes, finds Blakes from the corner for 3. Can't get that to drop. And Madison Booker touched it last as it goes out of bounds.
Well, Mexico is getting some opportunities to respond here with a couple of empty possessions for Team USA, but they just haven't been able to convert. And we've seen that with a couple really good teams here, Carlin, in the tournament. When the offense has dried out, they've relied on their defense. And the Americans are certainly one of those teams that has the ability. Look at this, 2 up top, really trying to get underneath Ramirez.
Yeah, it's Neefkins who just checked into the game, guarding the ball right now for Team USA. She's joined on the floor by Van Sluten, Smith, Edwards, and Hannah Hidalgo. Jeffries spinning, falling away, can't get it to drop. Nothing really falling for Mexico. How about this to fall? As Jeffries comes away with the turnover and lays it in.
Relentless effort, layers upon layers in possessions. That's how Mexico has to stay in the fight here.
Edwards at the nail, Van Sluten, good up fake. The patience down low for Van Sluten, opening it up. And her first 2 of the night goes through. Jeffries on the show and go. Jaquez is fouled for 3, and she'll have 3 shots. And when the shots aren't falling, Amy, you love to see a team get to the line. Mexico shooting just 22% to start this basketball game. Jaquez has a chance to chip away at this lead with 3 free throws coming up.
And that's the cherry on the top. It's not 2, it's 3.
Yeah.
Jaquez kind of created an overreaction with a quick little fake, and I thought it was actually going to burn her a little bit because it took a little more time to get that shot off. Quick, that little high five on the wrist. Super frustrating as a defender because it's a tic-tac foul, and Jaquez misses the first one, but Gabriela is a fantastic three-point shooter. Played in a national championship game with Corey Close and the UCLA Bruins this year. Had a fantastic Final Four game, if you remember. And the irony to all of this, in that Final Four game, she had 18 and 8, went 4 for 5 from long range, but Flau'jae Johnson just checked into the game, competing for LSU in that game. Unfortunately for her, they lost, but 28-point night for Flau'jae. So a little game within the game here, Carlin.
Two players that know each other very well. Here's the aforementioned Flau'jae Johnson kicking it to Hidalgo, who's wide open for 2. Can't get it to go. Battle for the rebound. And Ramirez able to corral. Jeffries this side with the cross. Up fake. Kicks it back out. Valenzuela. Jeffries penetrating now. She's been aggressive to start this game. Can't get that to drop. She's going to follow her own. Ramirez open. And she traveled. And Coach Desiree upset with that call.
It looked like she took a little hop step, and I think that's what the officials thought, because shooters will often kind of use that type of movement to especially generate some energy from your lower body. But of all people out there, if I'm Jeffries, I'm the most frustrated because I am in there trying to rebound around big bodies in the paint. You want to capitalize on those opportunities.
Need kids in the paint, that's pure. Jaquez on the handoff, Hidalgo all over her. And Hidalgo's gonna come up with the steal. And Hidalgo in the open floor. Leaves it for Van Sluten. Patient underneath. And gets hammered by Valenzuela. She'll have to earn him at the line.
And Hidalgo is a master at using her size to her advantage. That time she can really get underneath the ball and takes that first hit, and that's where Jaquez loses the handle. But because she's so strong in her stance when she takes the hit, she's right there to recover the ball. Hidalgo with her great court vision, one of the best passers and defenders in terms of numbers in the college game at Notre Dame, uses all of that to her advantage.
I don't think I've ever heard a 5'8" guard being described as using her height to an advantage, but that was great.
And
it is true.
She
hits it in the body.
Well, there's always an advantage to every disadvantage and vice versa, if you know how to use it. It's a chess game. What is it we're playing? Wait, checkers, not chess?
Right.
Chess, not checkers.
Chess, not checkers. And Hidalgo's certainly adept at that. She's on the ball again. Ramos. Wanting someone to cut, it's Martinez who comes and collects. Fires a pass inside to Valenzuela over Stolke. Stolke plucking her first rebound out of the sky. Just entered the game. Flau'jae Johnson on the 45. The jab step. Got Ramos moving. Now kicks it back out. Neat kids for 3. Can't get it to drop. Ball up for grabs. Stolke had a chance at it, and then Jeffries able to vacuum it in. Jeffries with the hesitation dribble. And that's good defense there by Neatkins, a stripper, but Jeffries somehow got it back. Ramirez, good jab step. Able to get into the paint, and she's fouled, and that's going to be the 15th foul here in this quarter for Team USA with 95 seconds remaining in the quarter. Mexico will have an opportunity to try and chip away at this lead at the line.
Flau'jae jumped. See that quick little jump? That's all it takes to create, again, an advantage, as Ramirez did, creating that overreaction. And it's just a great read from an offensive player. Flau'jae Johnson I love watching her defend because of, I mean, her physical stature and her skill set, but to me, it's just her compete level. Not an easy player to beat off the bounce, and Ramirez out there giving it her all. So when you look at Mexico, they've come out with what I would consider their best first quarter effort of this FIBA Americas, you would expect it against Team USA.
Mara's hitting the bench. She's the oldest player on the team at 33 years of age, but only started with the national team program back in 2023. So all of this is new to her as well with this young squad. Hidalgo for three. Was left alone and decided, you know what, I'm going to offer. Venezuela with Stolke on her back. Gallegos, who just checked into the game, was ripped by Hidalgo. Neatkins to Hidalgo. And Hannah Hidalgo putting on a show here in the last couple of minutes. Lisa Jeffries. Slips a pass into Gallegos. Jeffries now at the foul line with the jab step. Euro. Tough layup opportunity, not there. And Slutin doing her best to stay in front of her. Jeffries sticks with it, gets another possession for Mexico, and puts it in with the scream at the end. And Misa Jeffries fighting here in Santiago. Van Slutin at the nail. Draws two. They peel off. Her bounce pass finds Stolke on the baseline. 5 to shoot for Flage. Van Slutin pulls up, can't get it to drop. Valenzuela with the defensive rebound, excuse me. And the shot clock is unplugged. 4 seconds for Jeffries to shoot. She's ripped there by Flage. And that's how we end the first 10 minutes of play.
Jeffries, I know some people are at home saying, why didn't she pass the ball? You know what, if I'm her teammate, she gets to do that. For her effort, her tenacity that she's come out with in the first quarter, which you're not going to see everything on a box score, the amount of pressure she's putting at the rim on both ends. And now if you're Mexico, you look at that 0 for 1 for long range, and yep, the Americans only shooting 25%. But I'd probably want to look to try to get a couple more attempts up and see if you can shoot your way back in here a little bit.
Some of the best plays from the first quarter, an 11-point advantage for Team USA. It started off with a Miles Edwards connection, and then Edwards showing you the versatility that we've seen here throughout this tournament, the ability to handle the basketball, something that Coach Sean Staley in South Carolina should enjoy next season.
Oh yeah, she's one of the young stars, just 19 years old. And this is where it's tough to play Team USA because they've got a bunch of stars, but they're not selfish. So somebody can have a couple nice possessions or sequences. We saw Hannah Hidalgo have her couple moments. All right, next, who's next? Who's next up? And they've had complete balance all tournament. We've seen that here in the first quarter for sure with their 21 points. That being said, Team Mexico at times has responded in a big way. It's an 11-point game. We all know this. The key in these games against Team USA is responding and pushing back in when you can, not letting them. This 11-point lead could easily turn in to 15 to 20, right? And so you've got to respond one possession at a time.
Scan the QR code on your screen to download the app. Courtside 1891, stream, schedule, scores, and so much more. Your companion app for the FIBA Women's AmeriCup and every FIBA World competition. By the way, the U19s happening in the U19s Worlds happening in Switzerland. You can follow along that on the Courtside 1891 app. Well, we spent now 5 days here in Santiago, Chile.
Already?
It is
You
autumn.
gotta be kidding me.
It is autumn, and probably the nicest day outside today in Santiago, Chile.
Well, I hope the nicest day is actually tomorrow.
Yes, on the off day, where we can get a chance to explore a little bit. We've heard this is the place to be for steak and wine. I know you don't eat meat, but I will enjoy for
I'll
you.
double up my wine.
Yeah, there you go.
I prefer fruit salad in the form of liquid.
Mexico will start with the basketball here to begin the second quarter. Down 11. Gallegos on the floor with Jeffries, Lara, Ramos, and Martinez. This is Gallegos working on Hannah Hidalgo. Gallegos goes back behind the back with their dribble, and she was fouled as she was trying to get past Hidalgo. It's Hidalgo's first. Miles is going to sub out of the game to bring back in the oldest player on the squad, in Ramirez. Ramirez, hesitation dribble, and able to get to the rim that time.
Threading the needle, I'm talking the shoulders up, waiting to see what the defense was going to do to react. I think she was actually trying to give it off to the big, but no one recovered. And you got to be quick, but that if you rush that or you're flustered, boom, the other way.
Neatkins is open for three. Indeed. Gianna Neatkins splashing home a three. Team USA shooting 58% from deep coming into this game. Ramirez again getting to the basket.
Finishing over a lot of length.
Stolke at the nail. Turns and goes. Nice pass inside of Van Sluten. One of the most underrated parts of Hannah Stolke's game is her playmaking. Ramirez that time got ripped. Ball up for grabs. Guess who's on the floor? It's Jeffries. Seems to be in the mix of every loose ball. Jeffries between three defenders, somehow weaving her way through traffic. Laura got it and able to get the float to go home.
Now Jeffries is just, her hustle plays have been crucial.
They were late to get back on Neatkins. Hidalgo was able to get the offensive board and pull it back out.
Went in there like a 4 or 5, a power 4 or 5. Got that down with one hand.
Here she is on the drive, flipped it up, can't get it to go. Van Sluten was fouled, and that's just Van Sluten getting tough underneath.
Grace Van Sluten's had a really nice showing here at the FIBA Americas. Plays her college ball for Robin Freilich at MSU. And you probably know this. First Spartan on Team USA in 10 years. Since who? But I know you know.
Ariel Powers. Not bad company to be in. But you're right, she has played well here with this squad. And coming off the bench in the last couple of games, she got the start in the first. And the ability to play inside and out. It just gives you so much more versatility offensively.
Yeah, and top 20 in the Big Ten last season in points, rebounds, blocks, and field goal percentage. That's both sides of the ball. As Reagan Beers checks in the game. And so this is where it gets overwhelming against Team USA. Van Sluten comes out, and you bring in Reagan Beers.
The depth has been on display so far here in Santiago. Edwards with the kick save that time. Now reset the shot clock back to 14 for Mexico on this possession. Gabriela Jaquez back on the floor now for Mexico. And number 31 in red, Heel, on the floor as well. First time we see her tonight. She can shoot it from deep. Ramirez has the bigger Edwards on her. Tried to give it off to Jaquez, who wasn't ready for the pass, and it goes out of bounds.
Bigger Edwards, but her defensive versatility at her size, I wouldn't say that's a favorable matchup for Ramirez at all, even though a guard to post, if you will, but to me, Edwards has a guard skill set. She can move like one.
She certainly can. Here she is in the key. This is good ball movement by the Americans, swinging that zone around, and Blake's on the float, can't get it to drop. Madison Beers comes up with a fresh 14 for Team USA. Miles inside to Edwards. High-low pass. Beers is fouled. She'll go to the line.
The ball movement for this Team USA is so unselfish. Olivia Miles probably could have created for herself. Look at that pass, looking into the corner, goes right into the middle, but also it starts because she gets that ball into Joyce Edwards' pocket so it can turn into that tip pass down to Beers. And just being 2 plays ahead of everything at all times seems like Olivia Miles' biggest gift. And the fact that she has Kara Lawson in her ear right now, one of the great, I mean, that opportunity on top of who she already is just incredible for Olivia Miles.
And how about the escape dribble initially to create the angle for the pass as well? Just the subtleties with Miles' game that you come to appreciate when you have an opportunity to see her play live. Edwards loses control of the basketball, goes out of bounds. And Mexico America will take a timeout here with 6:55 remaining in the first half. Team USA up 29-16 at the break.
So what's the read there? Hey, so what's the read there? What's the read there? No, shoot it. No, jump shot. Just pull the jump. She's up. Yeah, knock that down. Take a shot.
Normally it's really good when you bring it up because it's already putting them at a weird matchup that they're not loving, okay? We need to do that. We need to get the ball in. You inbound it. We inbound it to her, okay? Try to push the pace again. The first play of it, it's horns away, but it's a little bit different right now, okay? All I want is Hazel right here, Gabs, they won't leave you, Miriam right here, Claudia and Myra, okay? Act like you're gonna go screen, act like you're gonna go screen. The moment you do this, you both just run. But you have to get the timing right. Do you got that? Go the other side, that's good. It's for Hazel. It's for Hazel. It's for Hazel.
Let's take a look at some of the pictures here from the first half. We talked about Kara Lawson and how privileged some of these American players who are playing in this AmeriCup are to have her as the head coach. You look at the other side, Desabeta and her coaching staff. They understand what the task is at hand, right? It's not just competing at this level, but it's also kind of teaching the game almost at the grassroots.
Yeah, and Desabeta just joined Lori Payne at Santa Clara State on her staff, and it'll be their first year there as a coaching staff for the Broncos, but a ton of experience herself. She played at UC Davis, so 2 female women's basketball players, now head coaches, and you really love to see that too, Carl.
Madison Booker underneath, falling away, can't get it to go. Beers was fouled by Laura, and that was a hard foul as Beers shakes out her right arm. There is Desabeta, her and her assistant coach, David Elliott. And some of those huddles you get to kind of eavesdrop into. You get to kind of see not only just their personality, but coaching style. And I've appreciated the way that they've kind of taken a step back at points through those timeouts. It's not always just X's and O's. Sometimes it's just the mental game of basketball.
Yeah, there's been certain coaches where usually their first couple words, first couple lines aren't actually on the clipboard about the basketball. It's looking at their players and instructing them, because you're competing for your country. The intangibles matter more than anything.
Edwards is able to get a floater in the lane. And Team USA now extending their defense. Mexico just able to clear the timeline, and Ramirez had a smile on her face as she missed a wide open heel in the corner. Ramos takes it back out. Hawkheads with 5 to shoot. Tries to turn the corner on Miles. Ramos gonna have to put it up. Doesn't know it. And Laura was too late. Shot clock violation.
That's tough for Mexico, especially because that offensive possession is in front of their home bench. And so that's where you really rely on your teammates to start counting it down. You don't want to hear "we didn't know" is the reason you couldn't get that shot off. I would say just in that first quarter, we saw Mexico playing a bit more, trying to get downhill. And yeah, your defender's going to try to stop you. How do you win that battle? And they're kind of relenting on a couple of their drive opportunities right now.
Booker on the fall away, can't get it to go, but Blakes is there to put it back in. We've seen Michaela Blakes now score at all 3 levels. A phenomenal scorer is Blakes. We know about her 50 burgers this season in the NCAA. Hawkins got fouled on our way to the tip. Blakes put up 53 points in January. That set a record for Vandy and the SEC. And guess what? Broken in February.
You're going, wow, awesome,
yeah.
Great job, cool. And she was like, hold my Gatorade.
Yeah. 55, a double nickel. On the road, by the way.
At Auburn. And disclaimer to all this, SEC hoops is no joke at all. So Shea Ralph will be thrilled, I think, to have her her freshman rookie of the year back.
When the opposing team's player puts up 55 and you're there cheering on the home squad, do you cheer at some point? Do you just kind of get up and stand up and clap and acknowledge? Or just cry? It's one of the two. Edwards just shot almost halfway down.
You get excited when you get one stop at that point.
Yeah.
You know?
55 in 10-minute quarters is insane. Valenzuela for three. Can't get that to fall. Ramos on the offensive rebound. Jaquez. A step back over Booker. That's good defense there by Booker on the contest. Olivia Miles. Can never speed her up. Always in control. Edwards on the block. Tries to get it back out to Miles. Finally makes its way there. Booker will tee up the three. Ashton Booker has had a struggle here so far in this one. Unable to find the bottom of the hoop on a couple of her jump shots. She's now 0 for 4 from the floor. And that's an offensive foul called. Her defense has not lagged though, as she was able to draw that offensive foul.
Yeah, legal screen there from Marina Valenzuela. A little too much contact, but I would say if the defender is not going that hard, you get clobbered, right? And so all the credit, and I know you can kind of put that on the shoulders of the offense with the screen setting, which it is. You have to be planted and your guard has to go off your right. But if the defense doesn't fight through tough on those, a lot of times they're non-calls.
Blakes comes off the curl and drops in another two. Caleb Blake's now up to 8 points here in this one. Jaquez takes a deep three. It's off the mark. Edwards plucks down the rebound. Numbers for Team USA. Hidalgo going between the legs on the pass to Blakes, who draws two. And then had to give it up. Valenzuela inside to Jaquez. Good defense there by Miles, comes up with the strip. Miles, no look pass to Edwards.
That's your muscle memory now, Carlin. How many times has it been Miles no look pass to Edwards just in the past 4 or 5 days?
That might have been the best of the bunch. Valenzuela, great post position and good footwork, but couldn't get it off the window. Miles running again. This time she'll take it herself. Olivia Miles right to the 10. And this is the largest lead of the game now for Team USA. Valdez, her shot not there, but Martinez following up. Lisa Jeffries waiting to check in for Mexico. A trio of Van Slooten, Stolke, and Flage Johnson waiting to check in for Team USA as Blakes takes a three from the corner. Can't get it to drop. And Ramirez trying to weave through traffic with the dribble. Eventually it was kicked. It will be Mexico basketball.
And for the Mexicans, now this becomes, can you win the next couple minutes? There it is right there. My gosh. She's always looking to a corner and then ends up on the opposite end, but it's not just, it's where it's on time, it's on target, it's right in the hands of the shooter every time. It's an incredible skill, and Olivia Miles has an innate ability to take over a basketball game single-handedly.
Lisa Jeffries on the drive. Foul is called. It's on the pass. Team USA wanted a charge as Blakes was in there. As we take a look at Olivia Miles, 7.5 assists coming into this game, leading the tournament.
Well, she's almost averaging a triple-double in this tournament in 21 minutes, 9, 6, and 8. But 21 minutes.
Yeah.
And complete balance on this team. It's not like she has the ball in her hands at all times. She's incredibly efficient in everything she does.
Jeffries on the cross. Can't get that drop. And Flage Johnson picks up the rebound. Stolke making herself available in the lane. And attacking the basket. Thought she was hit. Anissa Jeffries will dribble back the other way. Jeffries' first shift caused Team USA some issues. Jaquez. Back to the basket, working on Flage. Tough move by Jaquez, can't get it to go. Jeffries flies in for the rebound. Anissa Jeffries. Nice footwork, but couldn't get to drop. She's emptying the gas tank here in the first half. Flaucher got blocked on her way to the rim. Helter-skelter offense right now on both sides as Jeffries tees up a three in front of her bench. That's not there. Martinez with the offensive rebound. That doesn't fall. Blake skies for the boards.
There's so many scoring opportunities for Mexico here. You want to win those last couple minutes of the half and talk about it in the locker room, right?
Flaucher couldn't handle the pass as she was hitting on the cut. Gallegos right back to Valdez. Challenged by Van Sloten, but was able to kiss it off the window.
Focus on the finish. I thought that was going back the other way.
Yeah.
But really collected herself and almost looked like she fumbled the ball too. That's a big time finish.
It's her first two. Look at Jeffries reading that play. On the strip, Jeffries to the basket. Euro stepping her way to the 10. Anissa Jeffries with her 6th point.
And another stop score here for Mexico would be monumental going into the locker room.
35 seconds of play here in the first half. Hidalgo wants to get it to Stolke. Picks up her dribble, needs Blake to help her out. 5 to shoot for Team USA. Blake's weaving through traffic, was fouled by Jeffries. It's on the floor. But Team USA in the bonus, so Blake's will head to the line.
Keep going strong. We can hear it from the other side of the court.
Yeah, Kara Lawson felt like the last couple of possessions, they missed some calls. And now encouraging her team to keep going strong to the hoop.
It almost looked like she was talking to herself for being out there, because that's the message. And anyone who's played out there and you're a hooper, you know what it's like when you feel like you're not getting it, you're not getting the calls that you want. Whether they're legit or not, everyone feels like that.
Right.
The only thing you can do is continue to go strong. Well, I guess it's the only good thing you could do, because you could lose your head a little bit.
Yeah, control the controllables is what Team USA is trying to do here to close this half. The shot clock is unplugged. Gallegos getting over half. Hidalgo in front of her. Laura back on the floor, takes a quick trigger, can't get it to drop. And Team USA now with an opportunity for a final look. Flaucher Johnson with the ball on a string. Van Sloten with the lay. Gallegos can't get a look off in time. And that's how we'll end the first half of play. The Van Sloten bucket gives Team USA a 43-24 lead at the half.
That's a good pushback from Mexico. Probably have a quick conversation about that decision to take that jumper with a lot of time still left on the clock, right? When you're down, you just want to close it in a little bit more. It ended up turning into 2 points the other way, but Mexico shooting 0 for 4 from long range. And I know US, you're only a +6, but Mexico probably had some opportunities to close it out with a couple more makes. Nonetheless, a lot of basketball to play. Mexico has shown better effort than we've seen, or consistently execution and effort and hustle and all that stuff. And so they should be happy with that, but also understanding like there's still a whole half to play and you have to build on it. Everything in this second half is about making yourself and your most comfortable and confident into the pool play as you get a look at some of the best plays from the second quarter.
Yeah, Amy, Mexico shooting 29% from the floor. You have to believe the law of averages will kind of flip back in their favor, and some of those shots that they had that were open will start to drop. Meanwhile, whenever you see a team shoot under 30%, you sort of forget to give the credit to the defense. Team USA has been locking in defensively.
Long athletes, quick, agile, and so they really challenge you on almost every shot unless it is wide open, and sometimes you're expecting somebody to be, so that you rush your shot. Ramirez has finished some incredible, insane attacks at the rim at her size too, and so that's the type of way you have to play. Fearless attacks to the rim. And Maddie Blake's feels like she's responded in so many possessions tonight with a big bucket.
Yeah, leading all scorers. Excuse me, she has 9 points. Grace Van Sloten leading all scores with 10.
You're so concerned about what pass Olivia Miles is going to make that you'd rather almost guard 5 on the perimeter on that. She can make a layup, folks.
Here's the bucket that ended the half, and that gave Grace Van Sloten double digits as we head to the break. We'll take the quick timeout and be back with more. Team USA up 43-24 at the half.
Education, health, justice. We sometimes take these simple things for granted. They're not common for all of us. We are all born on the same planet, but not with the same opportunities.
Whatever our gender, color, belief, or capability, we are one. We are all on the same team. Let's convince those who never thought they would do it that they can. We can. Together, we are stronger. No matter your origin, basketball can bring everyone together. Basketball for good.
Dantes watched by Batista. One-on-one action. Dantes fading away. Pure. Gigantes at the nail, being hounded by Heel. Puts it up and in. Lopez got it off in time, banks it in.
Martinez, quick first step. Off the screen, 2 on the clock. Puts it up from 3. And right at the buzzer of the shot clock. What a shot.
Lopez to Valentina Lopez. She's blocked by Ojeda. What a rejection. And Hawkins again colliding. And Hawkins smiling, thinking that Jones took a liberty there. But Benitez for 3 at the horn. Gigantes, good up fake. Gigantes, oh, what a rejection by Ramos, excuse me.
And that's her second of the night.
And on the other end, stops and pops. That's a difficult shot. Elise, good find. Oh, Cardoso said no. What a rejection. Killer Cam.
4 seconds to go for the Lobos. Got to put it up. Find some space. Goes up. That one's good. And Mungo charged with the foul on that. Villalobos, what a way to kick off the 4th quarter. Bucket for Argentina to push the lead.
That is unbelievable. These guys will be legends in their own countries, but also in the international basketball world.
At the half here in Santiago, Chile at the Women's AmeriCup 2025, Team USA leading 43-24 for Mexico, and we'll get an opportunity to see some of the highlights from the top scores from that first half of play here on the final match day here in Group B. And Grace Van Slooten came off the bench for Team USA, providing 10 points. For Mexico, it's been Hazel Ramirez coming alive for her squad with 6 and a couple nice drives, putting pressure on the rim, Amy.
Incredibly feisty when she gets downhill. That was, I think that was the most impressive finish for her so far in that first half. Over Flage, not easy, but even the craft, the little hesitation, almost a double hesitation, and then scoop with the left hand. So she's really demonstrated this ability to be a master on the go, if you will. She doesn't need a whole lot of time to process her decision making, which as a point guard, decision making, #1. You have to be a great decision maker.
So far has been able to find some ways into the teeth of Team USA's defense. And she can continue to do that in the second half. That might open up some offense for the rest of her teammates. Grace Van Slooten finished the half with this bucket right here. But prior to that, red hot from the field and able to get to the line with a couple of nice offensive rebound putback opportunities. She's been in there tough in a very physical game.
She's so nice around the glass. She's got such a great touch at the rim. Typical, I call it club post. She's a club post player sitting up in the VIP section. Really just does her job well. Even something like that, just holding your position, letting the ball come to you. Sometimes that's the right thing to do instead of trying to shift. As a post, there's always that fine line between relocating or just hanging out. Beautiful pass from Stalky.
Again, here's the bucket that ended the first half to give Team USA a 43-24 lead. And you see her on the patience there. The high-low feed off of Edwards.
Team USA can just continue to rotate its high-level experience. And while I understand that they're young, these women have all played in big-time games in the NCAA. National TV, big-time opponents, sellout arenas. And so obviously wearing Team USA across your chest is a different type of expectation. The bright lights certainly don't fluster this group here.
Once again at the half, it is Team USA 43, Mexico 24. You mentioned some of the bright lights here as we take a look at the team stats for Team USA. It hasn't been an easy path, even though Team USA has made it look easy through the Group B pool play. Their first game was against host Chile on Saturday, local time here, and the gym was rocking. It was 3,000 plus. It felt like there were 20,000 people here in the arena. They sang the national anthem a cappella, did the Chile supporters, and you had goosebumps going into that game, and Team USA wasn't fazed by the moment whatsoever, and were able to get off to a great start in that one and got to 108 points in that basketball game. And from then on, we've seen them kind of gel as a unit, because as you know, Amy, these teams don't have a lot of time put together to put themselves together. The training camp is very short, maybe 2-3 weeks max, and then it's real games right out of the go.
And they're going against some of these senior women's national teams that do have experience together, that have been. You look at the Colombian team, for example, over half a decade together. That is an advantage. That matters. But the other aspect to Carlin is, with all of these players, you look at them and you point them out, and they're all the stars at their schools.
Right.
They're big-time schools, by the way. And so now you come to a program where the ball isn't in your hands all the time, or you're not getting every single play call. How can you impact winning? How can you still make your time matter for your team? And yeah, I credit them. There's been some really nice play and balance.
On the other side for Mexico, a very young unit. The average age 24 for Team Mexico, and for a lot of the women playing here at the AmeriCup. This is a huge opportunity not only to just announce themselves on the AmeriCup stage, but announce themselves on the world stage, because 5 teams will eventually qualify from here and move on to the FIBA World Cup qualifier next spring, and with hopes to get to the World Cup itself next fall. So a lot at stake, and it's building, right? It's building blocks for this Mexican program, who is quite young, and you expect that these young women are going to have the opportunity to then try to qualify for the Olympic Games in LA in a couple of years. It has to start here to build upon some success, or create some success.
I'm glad you brought that up. You always want, of course, gold. You always want to get on podiums, but I love FIBA Americas and these types of events because it's to punch a ticket for a pre-qualifying event. Top 5, so the seeding matters, how you advance out of your pool play, who you cross-match with in the quarterfinals. It's crucial, and there are some teams that come in here and say, let's clinch one of those top 5 spots.
Right.
Realistically, and yes, so the second half matters in a big way for Mexico.
Yeah, to get some momentum into the knockout round, which will begin on Friday here local time.
And that's locked in, that matchup. Mexico will see the Brazilians, who are here. Their staff is here. They're sitting here watching. They're taking notes. They'll probably go back and watch the film, making sure that they're prepared. And what you don't want the Brazilians to talk about is if you go ahead, they won't fight back.
Right. Well, Brazil took care of business in their pool play action, going 4-0. They had the first game here in Santiago on the final match day of group play, defeating El Salvador 106-49. And they will take on Mexico in the first quarterfinal matchup. Let's listen in to Zabeta here.
We are alive. We are ready for this. Okay, so just reminders. Let's get all the way back. First play of the game, we're going 5. I actually want you to look for the backdoor. If not, we can get you in the 2-man game. Posties, remind yourselves, we have to roll to collect defenders, and then we keep a low spacing. Drive, kick, drive. Okay, let's go. Let's go.
I'm pumped.
Yeah.
Can I go out there,
Yeah.
please?
Feel fired up right now.
We are alive and we're ready for this.
I'm pumped to read this promo.
That's how you coach up a team right there.
Scan the QR code on your screen right now. Download the app, Courtside 1891, stream, schedule, scores, and so much more. Your companion app here for the Women's AmeriCup and every FIBA competition around the world. Zabeta firing up her team, and I head onto the floor for the start of the second half. It will be Team USA basketball to start things off. On the floor for the Americans, Edwards, Miles, Booker, Neatkins, and Smith. For Team USA, Ramirez, Gonzalez, Jaquez, Ramos, and Laura. Neatkins drills the 3 right out of the gate.
And how many times that ball touched the court? Not too many. And not at all when it was the first initiated.
A backdoor cut there. Smith read it. Booker on the run. Right to the rim. A quick 5-0 spurt right out of the gate for Team USA. Laura wants it at the nail. She's not going to get it. Instead, the handoff to Ramos. Smith all over her. Ramirez with the hesitation dribble. Skip past this side. Gonzalez tees up the 3. That's good.
That's great patience. Shot clock winding down.
Edwards beat everyone down the floor. Got deep post position, and Olivia Miles didn't waste any time in finding her. And Edwards will head to the line.
And I know that if any of her future South Carolina Gamecocks teammates are watching right now, they're going, oh, practice is going to be fun next year. She gets up and down and gets to the rim, and if you don't match that, probably going to be a long afternoon. And guess what? She has shown up and shown that every single day here. I'm not going to stop at half court and let you catch your breath. The big offensive rebound put back.
Yeah, Madison Booker cleaning it up. Team USA now up 51-27. Jaquez on the curl, stopping in the lane in front of Edwards. Can't get it to drop. Neepkins ahead to Miles. Miles in her bag. That's off. And one of the rare times where we've seen Olivia Miles kind of play outside of herself.
Quick shake off. I have a funny feeling the next possession down, if the ball's in her hands, she's going to set one of her teammates up in a ridiculous way.
Almost a backcourt violation there as Ramirez lost it right at the timeline. Laura puts it on the deck, spinning in the lane, and it's a travel.
Yeah, Laura saw the defense inside, and I don't think she needed to spin.
Miles quickly up the floor. Booker pulls. It's off. Edwards mistimed her jump. And Ramos just going to make it over the timeline. There's Laura stopping and popping. Indeed. Horn set coming up here for Olivia Miles. Edwards at the nail. Great footwork to get around Laura.
But the master conductor is Olivia Miles, and it's a sweet symphony. My gosh, she orchestrated the entire thing. If you go back and started that possession, she was giving the hand signals 2 steps ahead of the ball. I mean, takes a couple dribbles to the right, enters right through the middle. Seriously, it is like she is a conductor. I mean, it's incredible and really fun to watch.
Let's listen in to Team Mexico's huddle.
Ladies, we have to do the game plan, okay? And right now, whether we're in 2 or man, transition is team defense. It is not I transition and I go where the guy on my side goes. We all have to protect the paint. All I told you they were going to do and talking about at halftime is getting the ball down the court. We gave them too many points from simple things right there, okay? In our zone, we told them we are leaving that exposed. We never come up. Stay back and rebound. Make the change. Let's go.
Here it is, Amy.
Thank you. I really wanted to see that again. Yeah. Give Joyce Edwards her flowers too. Quick little, almost like a ghost screen, a fake. Nice finish and splitting 2 defenders. And those two have incredible chemistry.
They sure do.
It's going to be very strange to see Olivia Miles in a purple jersey next season.
Yeah.
TCU, you're so used to seeing her, that Fighting Irish of Notre Dame.
Big pickup for TCU and a sign of things to come for that squad in the upcoming NCAA season as Ramirez attacking Smith. Smith got a piece of it. And here's Miles on the push with numbers. Nice feed to Neepkins. Jaquez rejects the screen. And that's the first time we've seen her aggressive, and it paid off.
And she took on multiple defenders. That type of downhill confidence, you really, really need that.
At the World Cup pre-qualifying tournament last year, she averaged 21 points and just under 8 rebounds per game. So she has the ability to score buckets in bunches as Edwards puts in another 2 on the high-low feed from Booker.
Hockey assist Miles.
Yeah.
No look pass, that quick touch passing around the zone. That's how you get it done. And really does a nice job. Mexico's setting up different types of defenses. There it is right there. That was the first one. There's been 3 or 4 just in this quarter. Watch it. Touch pass. And it just shifts, especially against the zone. You're looking up, the defense is shifting up. All of a sudden that ball's going down. You can't even react in a zone.
Some of the great passers in the game don't only get that first assist, it's a hockey assist because they make it so easy for that second pass to be delivered. And you saw Booker in that high-low situation. She knew where the ball had to go because Miles kind of led her with her eyes. As Jeffries with the Euro step the other way. Miles calling for it on this side. Attacking, draws two, flings it over to Neatkins. Edwards clapped a couple of times for the rock. Stepping through, she was fouled. I've been so impressed with Joyce Edwards' footwork, something you really don't see when you're watching her on television. You can appreciate in live form.
When you have those feet and you're 19 years old, you know how much work you've put in the gym. As you get a look at Pokey Chapman, head coach of the Brazilian team, doing some early scouting here on their quarterfinal matchup in Mexico. Probably also has a staff member writing some notes on Team USA and hoping that they would cross over in that gold medal. That's what you'd like, right? Yeah. The gold medal game. If you're both of those programs, I know Canada and Argentina and the company would have something to say about it, but that's why we play.
Yeah. Hawkes. And an offensive foul is going to be called.
I cringe as a post player. You just, those calls, man, because the battle's there. It's just a little displacement, but it actually looked like Venezuela had worked for the proper position.
Right.
And I'm not sure if that grab really mattered. Her feet had already won the battle.
Van Slooten at the nail. Too strong, she's going to follow her own. Smith from the corner, indeed. Hawkins watched by Smith. Rejects the Jeffries screen and then hands it off to her. Jeffries attacking baseline. Able to kick it out. Valenzuela, one more. Ramirez. Ramirez amongst the trees. One too many passes. And Neatkins able to come away with the tie-up, but it's going to stay here with Mexico as possession arrow in their favor. Check the shot clock. It's only 3.4 seconds away from it being expired. And checking into the game is Lara and Heel for Mexico. They're going to take a timeout. 5:06 remaining here in the third period. Team USA 59, Mexico 33. Des Aveda will address our troops and we'll join in on the conversation. Assists here in Santiago, Chile, and that time taking it herself. But she doesn't need to look to pass. Those passes have been on the mark.
This is my PSA. I know there are some incredibly talented social media content gurus out there. Please cut the no-look pass reel from Olivia Miles at the FIBA Americas 2025. I need to see this.
Here's another one, and she flings it this side to Neatkins. Van Slooten was smiling right at the nail, wanted that pass. She's going to set a screen that Miles rejects. Miles with another no-look to Stolke.
Rack him up. Put that on the tab.
Olivia Miles having some fun here in Santiago.
And don't cut me no 10 seconds. Like, I want the full, I want to relive all of these.
That's going to count as Ramirez getting past Miles that time. And she'll go to the line for one more. And Hidalgo will check in for Miles. Here's another look.
it looks like she's looking at us.
Yeah.
Right on the baseline, that baseline camera, she just stared that baseline camera in the eyes and said, I'm going to give you the ball. No, not. Man, how fun.
It really has been a joy watching Olivia Miles play basketball here at the AmeriCup. And you said it rightly off the top, Amy. When you bring in some of the best players in the country to play on one national team, everyone kind of has to figure out their role. And naturally, Olivia Miles has just developed into this leadership role where, you know, ball in her hand, she's been able to kind of find her teammates at will so far throughout the tournament as Hidalgo attacking the rim is going to go to the line. And it's a rare skill to have when you're such a great playmaker that no matter what team you're on, you just show up and you hand out assists. It's someone, you know, as a teammate of hers, I'm sure they're having a blast because it just means more points for them.
And as a coach, I can imagine you love having her on the court because those 4 other young women stay ready. Like, be on your toes at all times because you might get the ball. And there's got to be something intangible to that too.
Yeah.
So Mark Campbell, head coach at TCU, probably smiling somewhere right now.
No question. What a pickup. 8 assists counting for Miles, by the way, in this basketball game. And I have a feeling she's not done. Anna Hidalgo with a steal. Tell me if you've heard that before. Neatkins on the drive. Bounce pass into Vance Luton. Able to evade the block and kiss it off the window. Ramirez on the heel handoff. Laura comes up for the screen. Heel will take the 3. Off the heel of the rim. And Van Sloot with the defensive rebound, excuse me. Flau'jae Johnson now. And that pass slapped out of bounds by Jeffries. Regardless of the score, Jeffries has kept her energy up.
Yeah, she's been so incredible for Team Mexico in that first half in particular. I thought she really kept them when that game stayed tight for a good portion of that first half. Jeffries was making these extra hustle plays that mattered in the biggest of ways.
Stokey's fouled by Laura that time, and that will send her to the line for 2.
Team USA right now just powering it inside, and their bigs have had the opportunity to really get to work. All of them are strong. I mean, all of them are so strong with their takes.
Stokey last season, 2nd team All Big Ten with 7 double-doubles. She was last season's only returning starter from the team that went to the final game of the year, the national championship game with Iowa.
And a big leadership role, right? I mean, Caitlin Clark really changed, and that team really changed the face of Iowa basketball, at least for recent years. And Jan Jensen taking over for Lisa Bluter, a lot of just shifting and changing, and so for her to be such a stabilizing presence was such a big role for that team.
Van Sloot with the rebound. Neatkins will take a deep 3 off the mark, and Stolke battling inside. She's going to get called for the foul. And you see the disbelief on the faces of the Americans on the bench. And Stolke will check out of the game here.
Coach Lawson coaching her teammates up. That's, I mean, you need players like that to come through in a big way all the time, and there's always learning experiences. There's always lessons. And I think when you get to play for so many different head coaches and great ones at that, I mean, your tool belt should be filled. You're just a sponge soaking everything up.
Laura found herself underneath open. Flau'jae did enough to contest that shot. And here she is on the rock. Johnson tried to get into Neatkins, somehow got it there in the end. What a block by Anissa Jeffries, but she's going to get called for the foul on the follow through.
Really aggressive take from Neatkins, and Mexico's been taking some real hard fouls at the rim in this last couple minutes. And I mean, in the intentions of the ball, I'm not saying unsportsmanlike at all, but they've really been trying to resist. And Team USA just keeps getting in and going. And another pair of future teammates out there. Gabriela Haka is not on the court right now. A star standout player at UCLA will be joined by the shooter right there. And Gianna Neepkins, who, interesting enough story for her, she played 4 years at Utah, and her head coach, Lynn Roberts, took the LA Sparks job.
Right.
And so now she's gonna go finish off her last season at UCLA with Corey Close, Lauren Betts, and national champion runner-up, and they return a nice core.
Yeah.
I foresee some three-point makes for the Bruins next season between Hawkes and Neepkins, and again, just a great center, Lauren Betts, setting them up for success.
Yeah, potentially one of the best players in the country. And Betts, Van Sluten plays on that west coast of the country. See them at some point. Neepkins, the up fake, driving, draws two. Hidalgo with 3 to shoot. Crossing over, she'll take the 3. Got it to touch the rim, and Beers pulls it down. Neepkins, nothing but nylon on the triple.
Her shoot catch ability, automatic, right into her pocket. Doesn't take a whole lot of time, doesn't need a whole lot of airspace. Knockdown, I mean, she's deadly with time from long range.
She shot 45% from three-point range last season with Utah. A blur is Hannah Hidalgo, can't finish the layup. Blake's on the follow. Van Sluten, another offensive rebound for Team USA. And here is Neepkins for 3.
Feed the hot hand. You want Gianna feeling very good and confident going into these next rounds.
Hidalgo with the strip and lay. Under a minute to play here in this third quarter. And another steal by Hidalgo. Gets it out in front to Blakes. Gaello's in front of her. Blakes takes the hit and lays it in. Team USA pouring it on right now here in this third. Gaello's to the rim. Puts an end to that run. Hidalgo will try for 3. That doesn't fall. And Jeffries with an opportunity for the final look of this period. Valenzuela will try for 3. Indeed. Good if it goes from Hidalgo. Falling just short. And that's how we end the third quarter. So for the second straight game, Team USA flexing their muscle in the third period. They drop 36 points here in the third and take a big lead into the fourth.
Well, they also came out with a different type of defense of intensity. If you remember, the first couple possessions for Mexico were not successful, and Team USA came out and drilled that 3, had a couple easy layups to get going. So maintain focus, but then also attention to details in terms of execution. That was the first play right there out of the halftime, and that was the second one downhill. So those were your 2 opening possessions, and Mexico almost took a couple minutes, I think, to really snap back into some of their style.
Well, you said it, Amy. It is tough when you know as a player that these spots are locked in as they are. Mexico not really with anything to play for, other than knowing that they need some momentum heading into their quarterfinal matchup against Brazil, a Brazilian team who many people expected to be the gold medal winners here in this tournament. The power rankings on FIBA.basketball, the website, they ranked Brazil as the #1 team coming into this AmeriCup. Canada was second, Team USA third. That's bulletin board material for a lot of these teams. Brazil have looked like one of the best teams here at the AmeriCup and that's who Mexico will see in less than 10 minutes, or 10 minutes away from getting set for that matchup. So the next 10 minutes for Mexico, you have to think it's all about momentum building and getting ready for that quarterfinal when the games really start to matter.
Yeah, I'd say both teams a really healthy approach right now. The score's 0-0.
Sure.
And it becomes execution. What are the things that you want to get accomplished? These games get tighter. The possessions feel a little bit heavier because the value on them is greater. Chance to compete for the podium here. That's the next game for both of these teams, and so you reset 0-0. You want to get the things accomplished that are the most important to you.
Van Sluten tees it up from the foul line. Jeffries with the rebound. Now trying to push. And that's good defense there by Van Sluten, hustling to get in front of her and stop ball. Valenzuela ended the third quarter with a 3. She'll set the screen now for Jaquez. Jaquez trying to attack on Hidalgo, falling away. That's great defense by Hidalgo. Never touched the rim. Valenzuela with the chance at the horn. They're going to say it's a shot clock violation. She didn't get it off in time. No basket, says referee Larissa Salas Rodriguez from Brazil. And Dezabeda is going to want to challenge this. She will. Let's see on the replay. That looked like the correct call at that speed to me. We'll get a chance to see it again.
That looks, and we get to hear the officials.
Yes.
One of my favorite elements of this event is that the officials are wearing mics. They're going to go on in a second, and we're going to have the opportunity to hear how they communicate in the adjudication of these challenges.
We have a head coach challenge. Mexico, whether the shot was released in time before the shot clock violation.
Fei Xiang from Canada and Larissa Salas Rodriguez from Brazil will head to the monitor. Let these drop in.
All right, we are here to review a possible shot clock violation. We are going to see if the yellow LED light went off before the shot was released. The initial decision is no basket. Okay, all right, can we stop the clock at 0? Okay, ball is still in the hand. Okay. Okay, so the call is confirmed. Ball is still in the hand at 0, no basket. Head coach challenge is unsuccessful. Good? Confirmed? Okay, perfect. Let's go.
Show the signal.
Me, right? Okay. All right, we got no basket. Head coach challenge unsuccessful. Shot was released after. Okay. White ball.
We appreciate the refs wearing the mics so we can hear everything in those challenges and official reviews. No challenges left now for Mexico.
That was Fei Xiang from Canada. Fei officiates in the Canadian Elite Basketball League, a professional men's league in Canada during the summer. She does an excellent job. You can hear that, just clear, concise communication. Although Mexico was saying, hey, we were challenging if the ball hit the rim.
Yeah. First team foul here for Mexico. It's on Valenzuela, and that will be the end of her afternoon as she fouls out her 5th foul. Neepkins able to get by Jaquez that time. And the float falls for Neepkins, who's having her best night of the tournament thus far. She's able to cash in, and she's now up to 20 points. Laura trying to make a tough catch over Blake. So Blake's did a great job giving up size, just making it tough for Laura.
All the great defenders, even if you're giving up size, how can you make your feet your advantage? And also, she's just an incredibly strong athlete, too. She is not going to get bullied.
There she is on the pull. Rhythm jump shot for Blake's able to fall. Reagan Beers into the game now for Team USA, joining Van Sluten as, Anissa Jeffries Getting the crowd oohing and eyeing, and even her defender, Van Sluten, was smiling about that one. Here's will try a three. That's pure.
36% shooter in college from three, so part of that scout, be present.
Yeah, she averaged 17.3 points per game last season for Oklahoma, just under 10 boards. And has played sparingly this afternoon, but able to get that three to fall. Hidalgo in transition, can't get that to drop. Escale back the other way for Mexico. Jaquez for three. That's off. Escale going to chase it down. She stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, Jaquez, and probably part of the Americans' game plan to come in here and really make sure they're identifying and finding Jaquez because of her scoring ability. But so her shots have not been easy. She hasn't been connecting. But on that one, you saw the beautiful rotation on the ball. She's got a lovely rotation. I love when you can't read Moulton or the brand.
Yeah.
To me, some players, they don't have the spin and it goes in and it is what it is. I love the spin.
Edwards to the corner. Blake with the shot. Can't get it to go. Audie Crooks, who just checked into the game, was rejected that time. She wants it again with three to shoot. Falling away. Tough look by Crooks. Not there. A rebound for Edwards. And she's putting her hand over her face. Unbelievable, in her opinion, that she missed that look. Laura trying to work on the defensive Crooks. Jeffries with the backdoor cut and could not get past Hidalgo. She was able to strip it. Hidalgo tapping her chest saying, yeah, I know, I got beat.
Yeah, so that's the point I was going to make. What a recovery from Hidalgo to get her hand on the ball, because she did get beat, but then she was able to make something happen because she didn't give up on the play.
Crooks with deep post position. As she fights her way through, it's going to be a tie-up. And the ball will be going the other way. Possession arrow in favor of Mexico.
Audie Crooks, only 20 years old.
Yeah.
I love watching her when she's in post position with space and time because her feet are great. Her hands are so soft.
One of the best scorers in the nation. Led the Big 12 in scoring last year. Top 10 nationally, averaging 23.4 points per game. You see her contesting that jump shot, but it lands in the hands of Jeffries, who's able to finish.
I mean, give her an easy one, please. Thank you. That young woman has been working so hard all afternoon.
12 points and counting for her. Crooks at the nail. High-low inside to Edwards. That was a tough pass to make. Ramos comes up with it. And Scale in transition for three. Way off. And ball last touched by Blake as it hit her knee and goes out of bounds. Nipkins leaves the game as the leading scorer. And 20 points this afternoon, shooting 70% from the field. Laura tosses up a hook. Can't get it to go. Crooks with the rebound. Smith on the 45 for three.
Right on the release, it's just everything looks so clean for so many of these shots. Not just that one, there's been so many catch and shoot, with poise.
Tennille Say now shooting 37% from three-point range in this game. Another poke that time by Hidalgo. Tried to go behind the back to Edwards, and it goes out of bounds. So 5:27 remaining in this game. We know that Mexico's locked into a matchup with Brazil. And as most of their starters start to rest in this one, you start to think about that matchup a little bit, Amy. And Anissa Jeffries, who's on the rock right now, will be going to that game with some level of momentum. And if you can get Jaquez going and you can get Valenzuela going to create a three-headed monster, that could be an intriguing matchup, because Brazil, although they have the size, perimeter-wise, they could be vulnerable.
Yeah, I agree. And the other thing I would say, when you look at this last just under 5 minutes here, I'd love to see if Mexico can get some of their shooters ignited a bit, right? See if you can catch some fire and keep that moving forward. Blake's with the rip, steal, and finish. But because Brazil's a very good team, they're big, you just get the feeling that Mexico's going to have to hit some outside shots if they're going to hang and possibly take that game in advance. And so just finding the great shots, generating them in half-court offense, but then knocking them down, this is that opportunity to practice that right now in real time against another great defense.
Hidalgo finds Edwards inside, and she lays it in, and that's going to lead into a timeout. 4:04 remaining here in the game. Team USA 93, Mexico 46. As we wind down here in group play in this Group B matchup.
The Team USA's also scored 36 points off of turnovers in this game. They've averaged 26 through those first 3 games of the FIBA Americas. And so those 36 points off of turnovers are huge. What's not included in that column, I consider missed layups or tough contested shots that you've kind of forced. Those are almost turnovers too. And how many of those have they been able to get out and run off of as well? So we don't have the mics anymore. We lose them at the end of the game. But I imagine part of the conversation is, don't turn the ball over here. Like, let's just try to run some clean sets. Keep using the word execution, but that's what this is all about right now.
Team USA coming into this game was averaging 24 assists. They now have 27 team assists in this basketball game, sharing the rock and playing tough-nosed defense. Recipes for success for them as they think about the quarterfinals. And they're 4:04 away from that happening on July 4th, their first knockout stage matchup. Still don't know who Team USA will face in that first knockout stage game, because Group A still has some work to do in terms of seeding, as Jaquez is blocked. Flage saved it, and Olivia Miles, who's back on the floor, kicks it out to Smith for 3. Miles now with her 9th assist in the game. And whether it's Canada, the Dominican Republic, or Argentina, whoever ends up in 4th place in Group A and draws Team USA in that quarterfinal matchup, they have to look at this team and understand that while they're young, they're extremely poised, and they've been in big-time games, big-time situations before. As Audi Crooks scores, the only player that has not scored, that has touched the floor in this game, is Flage Johnson. You know the bench is going to erupt when she finally gets one to fall.
And Olivia Miles, 10 assists now.
Yeah.
Not stopping anytime soon.
Now she'll take it herself.
Now it's all right. Let's get this 3D. It's got to be close, no? Maybe the rebounding?
Yeah, we're working on a triple-double for Olivia Miles. 6 points, 10 assists, and 5 rebounds. Gabriela Jaquez with the rebound there was fouled. It's the first team foul for Team USA. The next game here at the AmeriCup, as we take a look at another assist for Olivia Miles.
You know, usually you look at someone who has 10, 11 assists a game, and like one of them is like that. Yeah. One or two maybe are like highlights. All 10. Honestly, you could cut all 10 of them right now. Well, like I said, somebody has to do that for me. I'll try to share it if I can.
It's been incredible to watch her perform, and we'll have an opportunity to see her once again in the quarterfinals on Friday. The next Group A matchup and the next game here on this floor will be Canada and Dominican Republic, and that game will determine who plays again, as Flage had to go in and out.
Olivia Miles, try to get her going, try to get her that bucket, so aware.
She's very aware. Stripping Jaquez that time. Miles doing everything, weaving through traffic. It's Olivia Miles to the basket, kicks it out to Flage. She knows Flage is the only one that hasn't scored. Crooks top of the key. Stolke battling, and Stolke puts it in.
fundamental basketball. But Olivia Miles with the effort on defense, call me crazy, but I think it's because she's trying to get Flau'jae that bucket. She went and just got the ball. She went and took the ball and brought it down the court twice. Found Flau'jae twice.
Still competing.
It's like we're all just here. This is her game. We're all just sitting and enjoying the show.
Forget about her game. It's her world, and we're living in it. There she is again on the tough D. Gaielos, backdoor cut. Ramos able to find 2.
That's one of those nice, tough finishes. Absolutely required moving forward. Cut those on film. Have confidence. Like, that is going to be there for this team, these downhill drives, especially if they can space the floor against the Brazilian bigs and try to get Cardoso and Dantas away from the rim a little bit.
Flau'jae tried to find Stolke somehow. It pinballs into the hands of Crooks, who lays it in. And another sub will bring Vidalis into the game for Jaques with 1:16 remaining in this basketball game. By the way, Mexico does not have a timeout remaining. Vidalis turning the corner here. Kicks it out. Ramos for 3. In and out. That was a good look, though. Those are the types of looks that they would love to see fall for Mexico. Flau'jae to the rim. Can't get it to fall. Crooks will take the 3. Off the mark. And Miles is putting her hands on her head because she wanted to get Flau'jae a basket.
She made 3 really tight passes to try to make that happen. And that's her game within the game right now. This is, to me, like the best competitors. They're always finding something, right, to compete for. I don't know if she would admit it, but right now I get the feeling that Olivia Miles is determined to get Flau'jae a bucket.
Audie Crooks was fouled there by Anissa Jeffries. And Esquel will check into the game for Martinez.
And she's got 40 seconds, by the way.
She has one more opportunity to do it.
Maybe 2.
I don't think they'll take the final shot. They might let it run out. And maybe 2, you're right, in terms of an offensive rebound. They've been able to crash the glass in this basketball game. Miles throws it into Stolke. And she's stripped. Esquel with it, hands it off. Gaielos weaving through traffic. Jeffries will take a 3. In and out. And the foul's going to be on the floor on Flau'jae Johnson. 13.3 seconds away from the end of pool play for these 2 teams. We'll find out who Team USA will play after the result of our next matchup between Canada and the Dominican Republic. As Crooks comes up with the steal, Mexico already knows they'll play Brazil. Johnson comes up with the block, and that shot coming after the horn. What a way to end it. Pool play over for Team USA. Next step, the quarterfinals, as they stay perfect in Group B with a 104-48 victory over Mexico.
Yeah, I imagine any opponent going up against Team USA is going to identify their best defender and really like try to deny that woman right there in Olivia Miles, just with her ability. Now the issue is she's going to be surrounded by 4 other great players at all times. And so that's why we get to sit here and not worry about that so much. 30 assists, so that's a fun team game. For Mexico, let's give them some flowers here in that their first half, especially their compete level and the way that they really hustled. I thought that was the highest of level that we have seen here at the FIBA Americas. So also something that you're going to need to continue and bring over. So both teams did some things that they should be really proud of in this final game of pool play.
So Team USA 4-0 will walk over to the tunnel and had an opportunity to take their victory photo for the final time here in pool play. 4 straight victories in impressive fashion as they were able to go through Chile, Colombia, Puerto Rico, and now Mexico. Big dubs for that unit right there as they now head to the quarterfinals. And we'll either see Argentina, Canada, or the Dominican Republic on the 4th of July. What a way to celebrate Independence Day for the Americans. A fun little basketball game.
And that is the highlight of so many people's day right there, getting that selfie.
And every
she should
player
learn how to like hand it back in some cool fashion. Like
throw it behind the back pass.
Get to the other side of the arena. She'll get it behind her back and in your hands. Maybe in your purse or pocket if you're really lucky.
Well, the best plays from the 4th quarter here on your screen. And we'll remind you that now Mexico will take on Brazil in the first quarterfinal game. That's already locked in. The others will be determined after our next game, which we'll see the Dominican Republic take on Canada. And after the result of that one, we'll be all set for quarterfinal Friday here in Santiago, Chile. Keep up to date with everything that's happening here at the AmeriCup on the court side. 1891 app. And with the off day tomorrow, teams can now rest up, do some scouts, get some shooting in, and be prepared to play when the games really matter. What's at stake here at the AmeriCup, you wonder? Well, the winner will have the automatic berth to next year's World Cup. We saw Belgium do that through the Eurobasket, coming back from down as many as 12 with 3 minutes remaining in the championship game over Spain to punch their ticket. Emma Messiman was incredible, still one of the best players on the planet. Phenomenal to lead her team to victory there. Team USA will look to do the same, as will Brazil. And now Mexico will now know they'll play Brazil in their quarterfinal matchup. Olivia Miles put on a show for Team USA. Gianna Neepkins, the leading scorer with 20 here in this one. And now the updated standings here in Group B. The Americans 4-0. Colombia locking down 2nd spot. And Puerto Rico 3rd, Mexico 4th. Chile's tournament is over. Chile and Puerto Rico will play in our final game here tonight. It'll be the last time to see the host nation play, and this is expected to be a jam-packed crowd in this arena. For that, we'll have Canada and Dominican Republic. We hope that you join us for both of those games as we wind down pool play here in Santiago, Chile. For Amy Audibert, I'm Carlin Gay. We'll see you soon from courtside as Team USA enjoy a 104-48 win over Mexico.